Friday, the 15th of November. We welcome our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world to a new business and market day. Let's wrap up the current week together. Let's start with what's making the headlines over the last couple of days. It's the end of an exciting 4-day market week on Broad Street today, with investors' risk sentiments shifting into equities as the central bank delinked open market operation treasury bills from Nigerian treasury bills. The PFAs and other deep pocket investors rocked the stock market on Thursday. 237 billion naira uptick in total market value, back to 13 trillion naira after the central bank Governor Godwin Emefiele and the rest of his team shocked the market with a single-digit NTB rates on Wednesday. So that's the big story, and of course we'll show you some of the numbers later on the show. But let's move on to what else is making headlines. If you're ready now for the second half of November, today is the 15th, so we're coming back on Monday the 18th. What are some of the big events we have on our calendar? The October CPI was the consumer price index and inflation data, which was cancelled or suspended by the Statistics Office on the 14th, which is Thursday, will now be released on Monday, the 18th. That is one big economic data on our calendar. Down on the market street, later next week, you have a Thursday and Friday SEC, CMC meeting. That's the Capital Markets Committee meeting. That's the final meeting for the year for the SEC, wrapping up the year 2019, and of course, on the 25th and 26th is the final Central Bank Monetary Policy Committee meeting as well. And of course, we can kiss any interest rate change goodbye for the year. As we already know, the Central Bank Chief, Godwin Emefiele, says there'll be no interest rate tinkering until 2020. Meantime, the Bloomberg New Economic Forum, which is a very big event, having Nigeria's Aliko Dangote and former Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala on the board, is taking place in Beijing on November 20 to 22nd. The big event will have a lot of big names around the world sitting together to discuss the future of the global economy and the marketplace. Meantime, the Senate is holding itself out in the public that Budget 2020 will be passed on November the 28th. That will be technically the final business day of the month. We're holding that out there. If all goes well, we'll get all that together. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, expects the committee is looking at the budget to wrap up their presentations, their papers, put them together before the Senate on the 26th, and the final passage, he says, could still take place on November the 28th. And on the same date, in the evening, then you have the Pearl Awards for 2019. That's when companies listed on the stock exchange will stand up for honors in the price, earnings, and rewards leadership. That's what Pearl stands for the year 2019. You expect some of the big names in Nigeria's market community and the economy to be present. So, APM Terminals in Apapa has announced a concession or a discount of 35% to importers to decongest what he calls the long-standing containers, totaling 1,106. These containers are sitting at APM terminals in Apapa, and they've been there for between 365 days, which is a year, to 4,000 days. That's 11 years. According to the port concessionaire, APM says the move is part of the efforts of the Nigerian Port Authority to decongest the ports and enable the discharge of new containers into the ports. APM terminal discount is for containers delivered until December 15th, and the full tariff payment are payable from December the 16th this year. And that's one discount for you if you're in the business of import. I'm sure you already know. The operator says more than 1,100 containers have been sitting at these terminals in Apapa for between 1 year and 11 years. Let's talk about the land border closure. So it's already in the news. Nigeria, Benin Republic, and Niger have discussed modalities for joint border patrol to stem the tide of smuggling and other criminal activities. The top ministerial meeting held on Thursday in Abuja includes the officials of the Foreign Affairs, the Interior Ministry, Industry and Commerce, Trade and Private Sector, Budget and Africa Integration. But no date has been fixed for the takeoff of the joint patrol team by the three countries. That's the latest there. Nigeria's land border has been closed since the 28th of August. The Nigeria's Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion, by the acronym NOTAP, says 95% of the technology we use in Nigeria are imported and causing huge outflow of foreign exchange. The Director General of NOTAP, Dr. Dan Azumi Ibrahim, says the quantum of money that goes out of Nigeria as licensing fee is too high and should be of concern to all patriotic Nigerians. He says that Nigeria faces grave danger as the country uses its scarce foreign exchange to import technology instead of funding local research and promoting local content. And a piece of good news from the energy sector, the State Oil Corporation, NNPC, yesterday announced a $1.6 million deal with the U.S. Trade and Development Agency towards the development of a new Abuja independent power project. This will be 1,350 megawatts power plant, according to the NNPC chief, Akari. The USTDA grant is timely, according to him, to make the power plant a bankable project and will attract foreign direct investment into the country. That's one big news in Nigeria's energy sector coming through yesterday. Of course, we also saw the welcome party and meeting held with Jack Ma, the Alibaba co-founder, by Mr. Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo.